it needs to be along with your agreement to sell before you sign it. It gives the seller information stating that you're in the first-time homebuyers program, okay? The requirements of the first-time homebuyers program, that it has, a mortgage that you get has to be at or below market rate, no excessive points, no excessive fees, all those things. Also, it has to pass a home inspection, no ifs, ands, or buts. So once they sign that agreement to sell, they will present that letter to realtor, okay? So that seller cannot come back, and what's your name, sir? Cliff. They can't come back and say, Cliff, you know, I never knew you were going through a first-time home buyers program. I didn't know I had to fix this and do that. Now, yes, it was presented once we presented the agreement to sell. Okay? You signed the agreement to sell acknowledging that information. So now you're coming back to me saying, I didn't know. That is not the case. What we try to do is protect you. So if there's any clauses that are in there, okay, that they try to wiggle themselves out of, and the deal is not going right, you get your deposit money back and you go to the next home. Okay? So it's very important, because if you have $2,000, $3,000 and you're committed into an agreement to sell and you don't want to lose that. Okay? That is a lot of money. Okay? You're going to work with your realtor. Okay? The realtor is going to walk with you through the home buying process, going to look at homes, get sales prices, go through open houses and things of that nature, work up the agreement to sell, negotiate sales prices with you. You're going to be working with a buyer's agent. Okay? That buyer's agent is going to be working solely for you. You have a seller's agent working solely for the seller. That buyer agent is your representative working with the seller's agent. Again, negotiate. Now, when you're working with that realtor is working on your behalf. There may be some suggestions that they may say to you, saying, because I'm a realtor, I've been working in this field and I'm experiencing what I do. You want to take that into consideration, but again, they're working for you. So if you put in a bid for a property and they're saying, well, I think we need to go for the total sales price of that property, and you say, no. Let's see what goes on with this if I'm going to put it in at this price, and if they come back with a counter offer, then that's something that we can consider. Okay? But they're there to put your agreement into the seller's hand. Okay? It's not the other way around. They're not buying that home. They're working for you to buy that home. Okay? Again, there's suggestions you can put into consideration, but again, they're working for you. Okay? Everyone through this process is working for you. You can hire them, you can fire them. Unfortunately, you can't fire me because I'm giving you the money. All right? But again, we're here for your benefit. You don't pay us a dime. Okay? We are paid by the programs we administer. Okay? So you don't pay us a red cent. Okay? Now, pre-settlement, you're going to arrange for a mortgage application, and also you're going to get a home inspection. As we talked about, that requirement for the program has to have a home inspection. No ifs, ands, or buts. Say if you're even in the property that you're willing to purchase. Okay, you've been living in that property. I give you my example. I was living in a property that I purchased, my first home, okay? Never went through a first-time home buyers program. I wish I did, okay? Because there's a lot of things I didn't know. My wife's cousin was a realtor, you know? He said, well, Larry, you guys lived in the house, blah, blah, blah. You don't need a home inspection. You don't need all that, okay? Took his advice. I wish I didn't take his advice. I still should have got a home inspection on the property even though I lived in there, because after, like a month after I purchased the home, can you imagine this? I lived in the house for 7 years. There was a slow leak in my bathroom. My son was 3 years old. He still remembers to this day. We were sitting in, Father's Sunday, just sitting in the living room watching TV, and it had a crash in my kitchen. My ceiling collapsed. The slow leak was just going into the drywall, and it just actually just collapsed in my kitchen. If I would have got a home inspection, it would have picked it up. Okay? Then I started learning about homeowners insurance. Okay? But what's called a deductible. Okay? I started to learn out. You got to pay your deductible before they pay out. Okay? the cost of the repairs were less than my deductible. Guess what? I had to pay for the repairs. Okay? But those are some things I didn't know. Those are things that, from my experience, I want to pass on to you so you don't have the same experience that I had. Okay? Even though that you may have lived in a property, still get a home inspection. And home inspections are not bad. So people are like, home inspections is just going to tell you what's bad about the house. Yeah, it's going to tell you what's bad about the house, but it's going to tell you the things that are good about the house as well. Okay? Foundation's good. Hot water heater's great. Okay? This window's bad. Okay? Oh, you have a little drip under the sink. You just want to tighten that up. Okay? So, again, those things you don't know. Okay? You go buy a car. You test drive the car. Some dealers let you take it home for the weekend. You can't go to anyone's house that I know of and go and test drive their house for a week. You know, say house neighbors, this. No, you don't get that. So you would actually have to go around the neighborhood, talk to the neighbors. You know, how's the neighborhood? You know, you got to do your homework as well. Okay? You're going to receive your mortgage commitment, obtain homeowner insurance, and title insurance. Okay? The commitment, once you're pre-approved, okay, you do nothing. Nothing at all. Because the same thing that gets you pre-approved for a mortgage can get you denied for a mortgage. You can be denied for a mortgage based on a couple things. You got pre-approved. You're in the process of purchasing a home. Okay? And I've seen this happen. Okay? You're so excited. You're buying a new home. Okay? You go out there and you get a charge card for a furniture store. Before you even close on that property, mortgage company pulls your credit, and this shows a balance of $3,000 because you want the place. This is my new house. I want all new stuff. Okay? Guess what? Get you denied for a mortgage. But guess what? You're in that agreement to sell to purchase that property, so you're committed. The seller is doing everything they were supposed to do. Your obligation is to get the mortgage to buy the house. That's one condition in that agreement to sell. Okay? If that commitment is denied for anything that you did in regards to your credit, guess what? What's going to go around? You try to get another mortgage. They're going to say, well, you were over here with this mortgage company. What happened? Well, this is what happened. Well, I don't know. That's a risk that we may have to take. We don't know if we want to take that risk. Okay? So it's very important. What got you approved for a mortgage, I tell all of my clients, do nothing to affect your credit. Nothing. Okay? Because you haven't purchased that home yet. Okay? We don't want you to do anything after. But again, you do nothing because, again, the same things got you approved can get you denied for the mortgage. Title insurance. Okay. Title insurance is basically, title is to cover any liens, back taxes, judgments, anything attached to the property. Okay, very important. That is insurance is as long as you own the property. Okay, so if something came, you've been in the property for 5 years, something came on the title that they owe back taxes in 98 or anything like that. The title company failed to pick that up. It will be the responsibility of the title company to pay that out. It won't be your responsibility. There are people who buy. I had a person call me. They bought a home, and I said, "Did you get title insurance?" First thing they said, "What's that?" I said, "If you got to ask me the question, you didn't get it." She actually even had the settlement at the title company. I said, "That's crazy. How you're going to have a settlement at the title company and you didn't get title insurance?" Okay. So anything attached to that property, guess what? It's their responsibility. If it had liens against it, her responsibility. Any judgment against it, her responsibility. Okay, because she didn't get title insurance. Okay? Now, once all those things are done, you have settlement. We will actually be with you at settlement. Settlement will take about maybe an hour, hour and a half. There's a lot of documents that you will have to sign. You will have to sign your first mortgage information. You will have to sign the information for the program. Again, we have a mortgage and note just like the mortgage company. But again, depending on the program that you actually receive the funding for Delaware County, you may have to pay it back or it may be forgiven after 5 years. The City of Chester, they are forgiven after 5 years. Okay? But that's the process in general. When you sit down with us for your one-on-one, we're just going to be reiterating everything that you learned through the classes. We're going to be going through this phase, so we're not going to jump all the way up here to closing if we're still up here on the action plan. Okay? We're looking too far in the future. We say that we have faith to believe that you're going to be walking into your destiny, but we also need to concentrate on what we need to do now, because if our head's so far up here and we're beyond what our scope is, we're not addressing what we need to do now. Okay, so that's one role of the counselor, to say, oh, come on, we got a group back, group hug, come on, everybody come back, okay, because we're losing focus. We need to address this, and that takes us on to the next process. Okay, any questions before? Yes, ma'am.
So when you're getting the home inspection, is it our responsibility?
Yes, it is. You will have to pay for that home inspection. With the home inspection, that will add towards your required down payment. So say if you were putting $3,000 down, and lenders will use that, what's called paid outside of closing, they will add that to contribute towards your 3% to the purchase of that property. So if it was $4,000, you had to put $3,000 in, we'll knock $400, making that $2,600 that you still have to show that you put into the purchase of that property. Okay, so we'll be adding those fees up as well. Okay, yes.
And if you know the person that you're getting the place from, and there isn't like any rooms or anything like that, you should still get the
Yes. Yes, because even with that person, if again, that title is good forever. So even when they purchase that property, there may be something, if any, before they purchase that property that may come up in the near future. Okay, that protects you for anything that actually attached to that property once you purchase it. Okay, anything beyond that scope, again, it will be responsibility of the title company to address it. It won't be your problem.
And how much is title insurance?
Title insurance, depending on the sales price of the property, it will be calculated. That will be part of your closing costs that the program will pick up. Okay? All right, guys. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with the Delaware County program, you said the money has to be paid back if you move,
Yeah.
10 years. Now, what if, you get a house you want to leave it to your kids? The same tree that you moved to the house with.
Yeah, one thing that is very important and a lot of people don't do is that when you leave any property to your children, you want to try to go ahead and put in the deed into their name. It gets really complicated when it's not deeded into their name, because a lot of people leave property to their children and it's still in the deceased parent's name, and that's where the complication comes in
I
at.
understand there.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, but I'm just still saying, because you're still legal, you're still on the deed of that property, even that your child is living there, you're still the rightful owner of it. So you need to transfer the deed out of your name into your children's name, and then it's actually their property. Okay? Now, Richard Elam is from Mount Pleasant Community Development Corporation. He's the new executive director. He's been working with our agency for a number of years now. Good, very close friend of mine, and he's been working with the program for a long time, but I'm going to turn it over to Richard.
Good morning. Oh, that was weak. Good morning.
Good morning.
Say money.
Money.
Oh, y'all don't like money. Anybody like Jefferson? Oh, y'all know Ben Franklin? Grant? Okay, got some smiles going there now. All right, good. Well, like Larry said, I've been doing the first-time home buyers for a while. I'm actually doing it today in a different position. I was formerly with a financial institution, but now I'm here today with Mount Pleasant Community Development Corporation. And I understand that my job is to talk to you about credit and budgeting. A couple of quick questions. How many of you actually have a budget before you got to this program? Okay. 4 hands. Somebody said somewhat. Okay. One of the most important things in a budget, and you see some brochures being given out, bank account. Okay, if you do not have a bank account, you cannot run an effective budget. Anybody tell me why?
Because you're not watching what you're spending.
Because you're not watching what you're spending. A checking account will do for you what you can't do going to Lou's to get a money order, going to Joe's to get a money order, going to the post office to get a money order, or stopping anywhere else to get a money order. Well, some people say, well, money orders are secure. Not. If you lose a money order, can anyone tell me how long it take you to get it repaid?
He may not, because it's treated as cash.
Exactly. So if you put out $1,000 in a money order, and you get it from someplace other than a financial institution or the post office, the chances of you getting that money back are nil. Even if you have the slip. The earliest you'll get it back is 6 months. So if you got $1,000 to float for 6 months, you need to put it into a CD or into something that's going to make you money. Okay, so hopefully everyone in here, I know if you're working with Larry, he already told you got to go to an institution to get a bank account so you can track your stuff. So that's good. The other thing, savings. Everybody says, well, I can't save a thing. Well, you have to come up with inventive ways to save. Anybody have children or know someone that had young children? Everybody has to know somebody that had children. Ask them for their old baby bottle. And your change, take it and put it in the baby bottle. Different approach, right? Rather than putting it in a piggy bank, just put it in the baby bottle. Say that's for the child. Save money that way. There's a couple of institutions that are using it that way. But savings, you need to put it into something. At first you put it into a savings account, which right now is only about 0.5%. If you go on Ing, which is electronic, I think they're about 3.5 right now. But with your savings, you want to put it someplace where you can't just say, I saw that and I like it, so if I pay cash for it, I don't have to worry about messing up my credit. But the more money you have right now going into your first-time home buyers, going into purchasing your home, the more money that you have set aside, the better your position is going in to buy that home. Because they look at what your assets are. Okay? Now, this is what I'm here to talk to you about, managing your money. Yes.
Did it count like college savings accounts that you set up?
You say do
Does that
the
hurt you or anything?
college savings accounts? No, that doesn't hurt you. And just to reflect on college accounts, one of the things that you want to understand that if you are doing anything to better yourself, as long as you keep that in good standards that's looked upon favorably, and I was going to cover that in the credit, but since we were there, one of the worst things that you can do is not pay your student loan. Anybody tell me why?
It's never going to go up. If you claim bankruptcy, it's still going to be there.
It's with you. It's like being brand.